Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tea with Publicity. We have a bonus episode this week. I know it is Love is Blind. I am interviewing Natalie Lee, and I am so excited. I have so many questions for her, and I just wanted to drop this as a little bonus episode for the Love is Blind fans. Did not want to hold off on this because obviously it's timely right now, and we have questions, and I'm going to get you guys answers. So here is my interview with Natalie. Guys, I am here with Natalie Lee from Love is Blind Season 2. Natalie, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm so excited to talk to you. I loved this season. I was just like flying through it, wishing that I didn't have to wait for Netflix to keep dropping it. I was like, if there was a feature to pay, I would pay to watch it all in one sitting.
Same.
I literally kept saying that. I'm like, that would be such a good money grab for them if they were like, for $20, watch the finale now. We would all buy it because we were like at the edge of our seat waiting to see what happened. So I have so many questions for you. How has everything been since the show aired? Because I know it happened quite a bit ago, but now you guys are kind of thrown into this entire media cycle and you're rewatching it. So how are you? How are you holding up?
Yeah, I'm trying my best to hold up.
Yeah.
It's definitely been very overwhelming, but it's been an amazing experience. But we and I feel like I could talk for the rest of the cast. We just weren't prepared for all the love and support, but also, just the focus on us. And so that's been, though it's been really, again, the support and love has been amazing. Definitely the attention has been a bit overwhelming.
Oh my God, I see TikToks of people like you guys walking on the streets and people are chasing you down with their phones. And I'm like, oh my gosh, who needs paparazzi in 2022 when you have TikTok?
I know, exactly. It's crazy.
Oh, you were actually in Chicago the other night with my friend Rod.
Yes.
I'm good friends with Rod, and he was posting you guys, and I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. It's such a small world.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, he is great. He's one of my friends now, and he's so funny to hang around with, and he's also been very helpful to just help navigate all of the public attention. So I really appreciate his friendship.
Oh my God, I know it's so crazy. I feel for you guys, and I'm curious, just to kind of jump into things, how are you guys dealing with the internet kind of mocking Shane's mannerisms? I feel like I haven't really heard anyone talk about it, and a lot of people are kind of making TikToks perpetuating that he is on drugs or has mental illness or all these things, and it feels just kind of who are we to kind of make assumptions about someone's mannerisms? Yeah. Is it hard for you to be seeing this stuff?
Yeah, so I've tried to stay away from social media. Aside from Instagram, I don't check out the other social media channels, and that's really for a way for me protecting my mental health. Mm-hmm. So I definitely have heard about it, and I've seen a little bit on Instagram. I just feel really bad. I feel like, people need to remember that we are human beings. We have feelings. Those things are hurtful. So I certainly don't appreciate seeing it. I'm sure he doesn't either.
No, yeah, I feel bad too, because I think people can't understand the pressure and what it feels like when people are coming for you or making accusations or attacking your character, when you're like, I know what I went through. I know who I am. I knew who these people are. And it's heavy. It's heavy. Sorry.
It's tough because I think, I've heard this from other people. They'd be like, we feel like we know you through the show. And though, yes, you are seeing us on the show, and you're seeing our vulnerability, and you're getting a glimpse into who we are. I mean, we're so much more than that. And there's so much more to our stories than what you see on a TV screen. So I think that's just something people need to remember.
Absolutely. I think for me, watching the show and seeing your relationship play out, I mean, I definitely was rooting for you guys. Obviously, the way the show portrayed it, because I don't know what happened in real life versus what we saw, but the way it was portrayed was kind of like up and down, you know, like as a viewer, at first you were like rooting and then skeptical and then rooting again. And it was kind of this emotional roller coaster. But I did see a really nice relationship towards you and Shane in the end. And I think the viewers were really confused because you guys kept alluding to this fight that had happened. And was it one moment that led to that ultimate demise, or were there multiple things off camera and fights and stuff that we just didn't see as viewers?
Yeah, so we definitely had arguments. Sorry, there's a bit of background noise. Chicago.
Oh, I'm in New York. I get it.
Yeah. So we definitely had, arguments. And so I'm not saying that it was always sunshine and rainbows throughout filming, but none of the arguments were as big as the fight before our wedding.
That makes sense.
We were pretty good at like moving on from the arguments, and typically those arguments were more so on like, what are we going to do about our finances once we're married? And like, what is our housing situation for, after we move out of this apartment, things like that. So what I would say is like none of our arguments and fights before the night of our wedding were ever a big issue to us not working out, if that makes sense.
Yes, they weren't relationship shattering arguments.
Yeah, no.
They were just tiffs and things that people go through as couples.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. So I'm like a hopeless romantic. So I'm watching the show and I'm watching the reunion, and it looks like there's still a lot of love between you guys. And I know that after the show wrapped, you had given it a second chance, which great. Like, I was so happy that you guys did do that. Do you think now with things airing again and feelings being brought up, is there any hopes for a third chance, or do you think at this point it's just like that door is kind of shut?
Yeah, that door is shut for me.
Okay.
I'm glad we gave it a second shot. I think that I would have had regrets if I didn't, to see, how that relationship would have turned out. But I think, ultimately, we're just very different people with different needs and wants. And I don't think that we're compatible as long-term partners. But at the reunion show, the reason why I was so emotional is, we watched the episodes at the same time as everyone else, as all the viewers. So, watching our love story play out, all those memories come back, all those feelings, like how I felt in that moment, come back. And I had just watched the wedding episode before filming the reunion episode. And so I think I was just very emotional, just kind of seeing the fallout, just like just seeing that day with my dad, but also how my ultimate decision to say no impacted Shane and his mom. So I think I just went into that reunion with a lot of emotions because of that.
Listen, I wasn't even there, and it wasn't even me, and I had emotions watching it. So it would be weird if you didn't feel those things start up. I think it was more so just, it looked like you both had some healing still to do. So I think maybe that's where, as a viewer, I'm like, oh, wait, maybe there's hope. Maybe. But I get it. Like, time has passed. You gave it a second go. And I think at that point, you ultimately kind of know, once you give things a second chance with someone, if you're compatible or not. And like you said, just because you have love for someone doesn't mean you're meant to be married to them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I will always have a soft spot for Shane in my heart.
Yeah.
Because we did go through this experience together. He was my partner, through just everything, through filming and just going on this journey together. And so I'm so grateful and thankful for him, because he's taught me so much about myself. That relationship really taught me, what I need and want from future relationships and from a partner, and what my boundaries and limits are. And I think I say this on the show, but like, love isn't always enough. There has to be other things to make a successful relationship and marriage.
It's so true. And I think one of the things that really frustrated me in watching the reunion, well, I think there was a little bit about the reunion. I felt like as a consumer, I was like, I don't think I learned enough. Like I was like, I'll learn more in the postseason interviews because like that's when you guys have a chance to really tell your side of the story one-on-one. But I think one of the things that took me by surprise, and I'm curious what your take is, I felt like it was very obvious to me in watching the show that Shaina was interested in pursuing Shane. I mean, she made it clear. She said it. And then in the reunion, she acted like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I wasn't trying to pursue him. When, like, it's very obvious she was. Like, let's be frank. But for me, it was just kind of tough because she didn't really take any, like, accountability for that. Did you feel like when you were in that moment and you came off the show and you see them talking at the beach, and by the way, I thought he handled that well, was it uncomfortable for you to know that someone is, like, trying to pursue the man that you're with?
Yeah, so I didn't know the extent of that beach conversation until I saw the show. Shane told me some things afterward, or most of what that conversation entailed. And then I actually called her the next day and I was like, did you say these things? And she was like, no, 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 I didn't call your relationship fake. I called everyone else fake because it's a reality TV show. So she denied saying most of the things she actually did say. And so it was really tough watching that episode. You know, actually a few months she did finally admit. She's like, yeah, I called your relationship fake, but she kind of watered down everything else that happened. So it was definitely a surprise. I don't need her apology and I don't need her to take accountability. Quite honestly, I'm not putting any more energy or anger towards it. I'm already moving on with my life and there's no need for me to like hold on, to wait for an apology or for her to take accountability for it.
Fair. It happened at this point, and it's not like you're not with him any longer. So it's like, it is what it is. But yeah, I just was surprised because I felt like that was a moment for her to just, honestly, I kind of got where she was coming from in terms of there's a pressure to get engaged, and I'm sure she felt that pressure, and then I'm sure she was conflicted. So I think if you just own up to it and be like, hey, look, like, I was caught up in this thing and I made some of the wrong choices. Like I could have really understood that. So I was waiting for that kind of accountability just once and for all. And when we didn't get it, I was like, did we watch the same show? Did we watch the same conversation happen?
Yeah. I mean, she has, for when she reached out or when I reached out to her a few months ago, on something else, and then we had a conversation of her calling my relationship fake. So she did admit to at least that piece. She did apologize for it. I'll never know her like true intentions. I think what she said in interviews is like, yeah, it looks like that, but it's not, it's edited like that. But I was like, what else could have been? Like, what were her intentions? I don't know. But I think that's more so for her to, provide that context. Look, what I really hate is though when people say, oh, it's a TV show, it's edited, I was a character. Based on my experience on the show, it was all real. Yes, of course things are edited, of course things are condensed on the show, but what happened actually really happened.
Totally.
So I hate when some people say that.
And you're living with those emotions and repercussions from all of these actions and these relationships with these people. And it's like, if this is fake, then like, why am I crying when we broke up? And like, why am I this? And it just doesn't make sense because obviously I think what people really should say is like, maybe I didn't take the experience as seriously as some others, because I think some people fully dive into it and then some people kind of are just there for the experience. And we saw that kind of happen with Shake, and he even said at the end eventually he was like, wasn't the right show for me. And we're all like, yeah, you think?
We're like, wow, I'm glad you have some self-awareness there, Shake.
Yeah, so. Finally. I think It's interesting because we see now you guys afterwards hanging out, and there's all these speculations about people dating other castmates. And what is your relationship like with people on the cast? Like, who are you in touch with the most? And I'd love to just kind of hear like who you've remained close with.
Yeah, so my best friend from the cast is Ayana. I wish we showed that friendship a bit more
Yeah.
during the show, but we spoke almost every day and we still speak every day.
She
So,
seems
I just FaceTimed
incredible.
her last night. She's amazing. She is a wise soul. And so
Yeah.
I just she is such a supportive and loving
Mm.
friend. And I'm so grateful to have met her. But I'm also close with the other ladies on the cast. So Deep D, Danielle, and Mallory. So the five of us do hang out quite often, and we
Mm.
do talk to each other quite often as well. I mean, we are bonded by this experience, and so I'm so grateful for those friendships. And I'm close to Sal. I know that there's been
Mm.
speculations, are you
Mm-hmm.
and Sal dating? We are not. We're just really really close friends. And so he's that friendship with him I really appreciate as well.
I think he seems like such a stand-up guy. I joke,
He
I'm like,
is.
he in the pods would stand out to me the most because he seems authentic and genuine. And like, even the way at his wedding, when he addressed Mallory's family or friends, whoever was there, like, I'm just like, that. He seems like a guy with really strong morals.
Yeah, I think so. I He's a very honest person. I will give you that. Like I feel like when I talk with him, what you see is what you get, if that
Mm,
makes sense.
yeah.
I also love his like calm demeanor. I was like, wow, you just
So
every time
calm.
I talk to you, I feel like a bit better and a bit more calm. So yeah,
It's the
he
opposite
really is
of
a great guy.
it's the opposite of what you initially went for, which is so funny.
Well, but I will say, I know Shane's energy is highlighted on the show.
Mm-hmm.
He privately, he was actually pretty calm. So when it was just the two of
Mm.
us, he's, very calm, quiet. We could just sit on the couch for hours and not really talk. And so I think it's when he's around his friends
Mm.
or, he's like part of a fun activity is where he gets a bit, his
I get
energy
that.
goes up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just like he thrives off the energy in the room, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely gets energy from other people, but I have so little energy that he got zero from me. So
It's so weird because I'm so friendly, but at the same time, I get drained from other people. So like
yes, I do
yeah,
too.
like I completely like my social battery will just be drained from people and need to go home and like recharge by myself. So it's probably hard to navigate that when someone's so like exuberant all the time and you're like, wait, hold on, I gotta chill a second.
Yeah, yeah. No,
uh,
there was in the beginning when I met him, I really had to get used to his energy.
mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, this feels like a lot, but like I said, he most of the time he at least with me, he was, calm and more quiet
Mm.
and not that high energy Shane that you saw for most of the show.
Totally. So what does dating moving forward look like for you? Like how is it not even top of mind right now because everything that's going on? Or like I obviously you want to get married. You have wonderful parents. Like you mentioned your dad before, an absolute doll. I'm sure you still want that, but like what does dating now look like for you?
Yeah, no, I'm not putting any pressure on myself. If I find someone, I find someone. If I don't, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best things that really helped in making helped in just feeling really secure in my decision to say no at the altar is my dad was like, you don't need a man to make you happy.
Hmm.
You need to make yourself happy. And that's really all that matters. Like, don't find happiness in a relationship or a man or, in a marriage. And um, so, right now I'm really focused on myself. I'm not actively dating, but, I'm just exploring some things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm being a bit coy right now. I'll just say stay tuned.
So you're seeing what's out there and
Yeah, I'm just seeing
potentially
what's out there.
potentially with someone from the cast or we'll see.
Um,
You-
no one from the cast.
okay.
I mean, I'm friends with most of the men on the cast, and I don't really see. You know, I don't want to, say this too soon, but
Hmm.
I haven't really had like a romantic connection with any of them.
I got that.
So
Yeah.
nothing there for right now.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm so excited to see what's in store for you and all of the women. Like I'm obsessed with Deep Tea. I
Yeah.
honestly like solid group of women. The one person I wish The one person I think was like maybe a little misunderstood was Danielle. So I would love to talk to her at some point because I do feel bad for her the way the show went down, but it's so nice to see the two couples that are married. Like I'm rooting for everyone. The single people, the married people. I'm like, I just want everyone to be happy except maybe Shake. He could he could stay over there.
Yeah. All the women are really amazing. And I will say when it comes to Danielle, her growth from when filming Wrap to now is just extraordinary.
Yeah.
So
you could look back at
you know,
yourself
I
and
definitely
learn.
hope you talk to her. What was
Yeah.
that?
I said you really could look back at yourself and learn too.
Yeah.
So
And I think that applies to everyone on the cast, minus someone. But
a few.
but yeah, I think we definitely grew a lot from the experience. You know, that's for sure. And I think for the better.
Totally. I can't wait to see what's next for you and where could everyone follow you. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed this conversation, so I appreciate it a lot.
Yes.
Thank you.
And what's your Instagram? Give us a little plug.
Okay, it's Natalie Mina Lee. My middle name is spelled Mina. I know
Cute.
Netflix, like the subtitles did Nina. No, it's Mina. So.
I actually love that name, Nina. That's so cute.
Yeah, it's Korean. So
Love it. Awesome.
But that's my Instagram handle. DM me, anyone listening.
Amazing.
I'll try to respond. So
thanks so much, Natalie. Appreciate it.